Hi, my name is Susan Rushton. Welcome to my other show. This is AhMuse. On this show, I'm thrilled to, I'm tickled to, I'm excited to talk to people who have been lured by the muses. Today, I'm talking to two people, Luisa Piette and Del Dozier. Hi. Thank you very much for joining me. Luisa Piette is president of the Placer Community Theater, and Del Dozier is a board member. Placer Community Theater, placercommunitytheater.org, P.O. Box 4322, Auburn, California, 95604, 530-450-8092. Finally, info@placercommunitytheater.org.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I am a stranger here. I'm the odd one out. In this small room, we have 4 people, and 3 of them are deeply involved with the Placer Community Theater.
You must add in front and behind.
In front and
behind,
yes. Phil Jacques is behind, and he's deeply involved. Luisa Piette is president of Placer Community Theater, and Del is board member, and I am not involved. I am interested in the theater, this theater, and these people, but I know nothing about acting except that you need to remember your lines for the most part. So, Del, how long have you been aboard? No, excuse me, Luisa. How long have you been president?
Just 6 months.
Why only 6 months?
We moved here. We are new in the area. We just moved here from New Hampshire, and it's been 6 months since we came upon this idea that we could be running a theater, and it just happened very accidentally. When I bumped into Phil Jacques.
It's Phil's fault.
It is.
We can blame him. Okay. What brought you from the east?
Yes, we moved here because my daughter got a job in San Francisco, and she and her family moved here. And we only have one granddaughter, our beautiful Cosima, and she's 2 years old. And when she moved here and we were so far away, we went into a complete panic. We can't do that. We only have one granddaughter. We need to be near her. So we decided to sell the house and start looking, and on the internet we found the house in Cool. So here we are.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. And you and your husband are deeply involved in drama, right?
Well, since we took over the theater, since we started running it or coordinating it, so to speak, because everybody is running it. Really, it's a team project. It's work that has to come from everybody involved, and unfortunately, it is the board. I'm used to being on boards that just give advice, but this board is a working board, and everybody does something. My husband has some experience in acting. He was an actor when he was younger, but he went into the corporate world, and he loves the theater, and he's a literature major from Cambridge University, and he loves it.
You mean he's an English major?
Yes. Matthew Piette, he would have been here today with you.
An English major. I love English majors.
That's right. So he's an avid reader. He loves the theater. He loves the arts. And I'm a journalist, really, by training, and
so you know how to promote.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
good.
And I'm an international lawyer, and I've done a number of things, including running nonprofits. And when I heard that the theater needed somebody to run the nonprofit side of things, the administrative side of things, I said, I'll do it.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't take the idea that the theater would shut down. It just didn't sit well with me.
Right. Okay. So the Placer Community Theater has been around a while. Yeah.
20 years.
20 years. Yes. And it moved back, and now it's come forward again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I think Del can speak to that because she's been involved longer than I have.
Okay.
I love PCT, Plaza Community Theater, and I'll do anything and everything I can to make it succeed. And I will tell you later why, but there so many reasons.
Okay.
But I think Del can speak a little bit more about about PCT being 20 years old and the place that she participated in and how it works. So
tell us, Del.
Woo! Well, actually, I haven't been with PCT for 20 years, but I know they've been around because we just celebrated our 20-year anniversary just a few months ago. And I've really only been here in Auburn about 6 years, just moved here. So, but since moving here, I've been in a few plays PCT has put on. I was first in Death Trap, and then I did Love Letters, and see what else. Oh well, I was in War of the Worlds, which was our
that's right.
Yeah, our gala
and
20-year gala performance,
Oh yeah,
and then
Bus Stop.
War of the Worlds being a radio show.
Yes,
but really more than a radio show. Yeah, that was fascinating.
Yeah, great lighting and sound effects, and it just really brought it alive. And
So why are you involved with acting?
Why am I involved with acting? Gosh, I've been involved with acting since I lived in Los Angeles, I was involved for maybe 20 years. I had moved out there as a young ingenue and did all kinds of things out there, plays and some TV and, some parts in films and different things. But moved out here to kind of get away from LA, really. I was kind of tired. Kind of tired of the rat race. It was a bit of a rat race, and the traffic and the prices of everything was just skyrocketing. And I just decided it was time to go. I was working at Sony Pictures anyway, so. I just decided to come out here, and
it's a beautiful town. Good choice.
Being in such a beautiful area, I fell in love with Lake of the Pines.
Yes.
It's so beautiful here, and I always wanted to be in just this kind of environment and feel safe,
And here you are.
And here I am.
Good.
And I was just thrilled that there's theater out here, and PCT is one of the few theaters we have in this area. So when I heard that Luisa needed help with the board, so I came on because I know some things about theater. I know, I've been doing it a long time, and so I know about casting and all that stuff. And
she was the assistant director. She was the assistant director for Bus Stop. So
okay, I was helping out Phil as the director.
Yeah.
So. Just doing whatever I could. I mean, I love theater and love acting because you can express yourself and do things and be different characters without really taking responsibility for what those characters do. It's kind of freeing, It's freeing to be all these crazy different types, in front of people. It's like burying yourself in a character. You're not really that character. You're someone else.
Yes.
And there's something cathartic about that and exciting about that. And I think theater is important.
Absolutely.
Because people need to see that live interaction between other people.
Absolutely.
In this day and time of everybody on their little cell phones and not communicating with each other.
Why?
We really need that connection.
How wise she is.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the reason why I'm involved.
Yeah.
And I do believe, even though I'm not an actor myself, I do not act. I have acted in the past, radio shows and much, it was a long time ago. But I do love the theater, and I do believe it is the most important art form. And I think, was it Oscar Wilde who said that it is the most beautiful form of art?
I don't know.
We need to look up that quote.
Okay.
But it really is not only the most beautiful, but the most authentic. I mean, we go to museums and we look at paintings and different things that are static. And the theater is a living form.
Anything
art.
but static. Yeah.
Living art.
Yeah.
How can you compare that to anything? Even the movies, you shoot once and it's played over and over. The theater, every single day I watched every single performance of our recent show, Bus Stop, and I never got bored because every day there was a different thing that I noticed, or the actors were a bit, drew attention to something that I hadn't noticed before. It's just a beautiful art form, and it brings people together.
Yes.
So that's why we're in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Really.
That's wonderful.
We had so many people come up to us afterwards. Oh, we love the show. Oh, it was so beautiful. Oh, thank you.
When is the next one?
Yeah. It just feels good to bring joy to people.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And in fact, my husband is not here today. He's the vice president. We sort of started this project together. He works full time and he's the vice president, but he sent a message to you. He thanks you for inviting him. He will be on your show next time and he's free. But he sends a message that, theater, like I said before, is the most beautiful art form. And it also brings the community together. And he said he was fascinated by the fact that we had actors coming from Sacramento, from Grass Valley, it's not just Auburn, it's the surrounding communities.
Sure.
And it's really about talent, and it's a form of communication between the actors and the audience seeing themselves in the actors. It's just, I think it brings the community together. I think Auburn needs more of it, and we hope to be here for a long time.
Sure, I agree. I hope so too. My goodness. Del, you are on the board. What is your job? Do you have? I suppose you have lots of jobs.
Yes, it depends on the day. It depends on where we are in the production, but I do help out with everything.
Before she says anything, without Del, I think we would have missed a lot of details. Del's attention to detail is so good, and I don't know what we would have done over the past several months without her.
You should have done this. We need to bring this in.
Yeah, exactly. And she catches everything. She goes, there's, and she's an essential part of the theater. And I'm very grateful to have her gracefully joining us and being a part of this endeavor, which is an ongoing effort.
Great.
I'm really into details and organization and details, and I notice anything that's, if there's anything to catch, I catch it. Oh, this flyer has a typo or whatever, or this email went out, or we need to change this before it goes out because it's didn't quite catch all the different things.
And that bothers everybody.
I was driving them crazy with all my changes.
But
no, we like it. We like it.
It's important to get things correctly. Yes, thank you.
And also, I'm in charge of the script committee, which means I'm helping to come up with ideas of new plays to do for the community that we have never done before. And we've got a whole long list over 20 years of all the different plays we've done. So we stay away from all of those, and I'm coming up with all these different ideas of different shows we can do. And then I meet with the script committee, which is about 5 of us, and we go through them and talk about them, what would work, good for us right now. What do we want to project out there? What do we want to say? What do we want to, what kind of shows do we want to do? And we're in the process of picking them.
That's right.
For this new season.
Yep.
And
how many in a season? How many plays in a season?
We're still discussing that.
Okay.
Well, traditionally, PCT, I think, had between 3 and 4 plays a year annually. I'm hoping that we'll do one every other month, if possible.
Wow.
Well, a small one, we could have a musical once a year and then do a bit more of other art forms. I was recently in Paris and I went to see a play. And it was so energetic, and they were using amazing forms of lighting and and they used it so well, and this is where we want to go. We want to get away from building stages every time we have a play to using lighting effectively to project the story and make it exciting.
Yeah.
We are, after all, in the 21st century.
This
and,
is the 21st century.
yes.
Yes. Heavens.
We're moving into a more modern way of doing theater with
Okay.
lighting and sound and, you know, not as much dependent on sets or, you know, set pieces. You know, it's going to be modern.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So we can be more flexible then.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and we want
Yeah.
to start doing staged readings as well to kind of get the audience familiar with a lot of different kinds of plays that, you know, that they might be interested in, just to test the waters, see what people like, and so staged readings, and full theatrical productions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, a stage reading is people reading. I'm remembering you and Phil reading a story. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
with stage readings are where all the actors are usually standing, sometimes sitting on stage in front of a music stand with their scripts, and they're reading the play to the audience. It's not just reading; they're acting it out.
Sure.
You know, they're acting it out, and it's much more freeing and easy for the actors, you know, to get up and do different things all the time when you don't have to have a bunch of production behind it. So we wouldn't need a set or any of that. So we're going to blend that in with our regular full, you know, theatrical productions.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and hopefully entertain the
Yeah.
community more, and with a variety
more
of
art.
yes.
Oh my
artistic
goodness, that's
forms.
interesting.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because the theatrical productions, the full thing, is actually very expensive. So we're kind of, you know, adding this to our repertoire.
Because we are a community theater, we depend totally on volunteers, and I thank you for having us, because we do need volunteers. Please sign up to be to work
volunteers
with us. There are so many roles you could have. You could help with the sound. You could help with stage building. You could help with the script. You know, the script committee is always looking for talent. There's a lot of work, and please volunteer. We need the community. We need the younger people as well. We're trying to look for diversity. If you come from the Latino community, the Asian community, the African American community, we want you. We want you to come join us. We want to represent America. And so there's a lot of potential, and we do have, you know, a lot of hopes for success and for bigger and better things.
Yeah.
to come.
Okay. So if you want to volunteer, placercommunitytheater.org, info@placercommunitytheater.org, or 530-450-8092. And if you want to drop them a line, P.O. Box 4322, Auburn 95604. Tell me about what is important in the acting. In acting, what do you have to remember? What do you have to do that? Aside from memorizing.
Aside from the lines,
aside from memorizing.
Well, you have to know your cues. You have to know when an actor says a line that is right before your line. You have to know when to come in. So you have to be incredibly focused and concentrated. And there's also not only line cues. There's also movement cues where you have to know where to come in or out of the room, or cross, or be at a certain place at a certain time so you can be there when an actor talks to you or whatever. So there's all these things to remember. So I would say focus, concentration is number one, to be really focused on stage, and not to let the audience make you nervous. I mean, really being focused, and you just kind of learn that over time. Is create this little world that you're in, and this is it. Just like we're sitting here, pretending there's no outer world out there.
Right.
It's just us, and we're really comfortable with each other, and we're just acting like we always do ideally in normal life. So you just kind of have that fourth wall where you just kind of shut all that out and just really get into the moment on stage.
Okay.
What's happening.
Yeah. And in real life, one makes mistakes.
Yes.
In real life.
Yeah.
When I talk to musicians, they're aware that they might make mistakes. And a professional musician knows that he or she is going to make a mistake, and you can't think about it.
Right.
Because there's the mistake, and here's all this other stuff coming up, and you can't think about that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's hard.
Letting that go.
Yes.
You really have to learn to let that go and just, okay, we're starting over right now, and moving forward. Because if you think about that mistake, you're not in the present moment.
Right.
So then you're missing everything right here, right now. So you kind of learn to let those things go. There's nothing you can do about it. You just do your best to recover in the moment and move on. And usually the audience never notices mistakes anyway.
Yeah.
As long as you keep moving on.
They don't know the lines. So
Exactly. So
just have to make it as natural as possible.
It's part of the fun of live theater is overcoming these little things that come up. Sometimes sound cues or lighting cues don't come up when they're supposed to, and you just plow through, or you might add a line that acknowledges it and makes fun of it or something. You just kind of play with it.
I was expecting a phone call sooner or later.
I thought the phone was supposed to ring. No. You don't want to bring too much attention to it, but yes.
It's fun.
Okay, yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Good.
And that's what it's all about. It's about entertainment. It's about lightening things up and making the community have an excuse for putting aside all the worries, or they might have had a bad week, or they may have family and they want to go out to celebrate, or and there we are. We want to be able to provide quality entertainment, and that's our
provide that
mission.
Escape
Exactly.
for people to get away from their daily lives or stresses, and
Exactly.
for an hour, a couple hours, escaping into a different world and other people's lives, and it's healing,
essential.
I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a form of healing. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about so many things. There is yoga. There's tai chi. There's exercise.
There's sleep.
Sleep. Exactly.
There's
then
reading.
there's reading.
Yeah.
And then we have entertainment. Either you go to the movie theater or you watch a play. And we want to make sure we're part of that dynamic, diverse options that people have to go out.
Yes.
I think people should go out. I enjoy being home a lot, but I also enjoy going to see a good play or a good movie, and that's what we're here for.
Yes. Yeah, that's wonderful. I have a question. What is one of the most what I want to know is what is the most important, but I hate that question. There's several more very important things, important strengths behind the curtain. What is one of them?
I think it's being a team, don't you?
Exactly.
I mean, really doing what needs to be done.
And I observe perhaps I could answer that question because I'm pretty new to theater in terms of running one or being close to the actors,
Being responsible for them.
and I see a lot of camaraderie. I see a lot of cooperation and people, actors
others.
helping each other behind the scenes. Giving prompts, you're supposed to, do you need help, or can we help you? Can we, it's your turn now. It's just there's so much cooperation and there's so much to learn from that. I think what's behind the scenes is actually what the world should be like, and it's what the world is like. I do believe the world is 90% right, but there are 10% of contrarians that cause all the problems of the world, and unfortunately
Don't do that. Stop it.
stop it.
Help each
Unfortunately,
other.
they have followers, the 10% that cause all the problems. So that's what it is behind the scenes, cooperation, camaraderie, and I think that's very important.
Okay.
It
Yes.
depends if you're talking about the people who are, supporting the actors or the actors themselves behind the scenes. I mean, there's so much that needs to
Stage
happen
manager and
behind the scenes,
in front.
to make the show happen. Like the stage
Right.
manager has to have the food in
Right.
place
Yeah.
so you can pick it up and bring it on stage, or make sure everything's replenished and have enough salt or sugar or whatever, and have things in place between acts so you don't have the same trash on stage from act 2
Right.
in act 3 or whatever.
That's
They're
right.
just everything.
There's a lot of
so many things.
work behind the scenes to make a play successful, and
The
it's all
volunteers.
brilliant. I observed a lot of brilliance. Phil Jack and Del.
Who? Phil
Phil.
Jacques?
He was
Phil
the
Jacques,
director.
huh?
He was the director. He was the director
Oh, him.
of Bus Stop and of War of the
Yeah,
Worlds,
he's-
and excellent. I didn't know he had that talent. I knew he was an excellent actor, but I didn't know he could also direct. How could he do both? So there's a lot of talent, and it's very important to keep the theater going, to have that talent come out so the world can see it and the world can get inspired by it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Um,
a lot to it.
So we were talking about what makes what the most important strengths behind the curtain, and you were talking about everything that you were doing. You are focused. You as a board member and you as an actor are focused on this, Del. That's wonderful.
Yes. When I'm behind this curtain, I am my character, and I'm out. I'm not a board member anymore. I am the character,
Right.
and I'm thinking about what happened before the scene, and mentally going through it and getting emotionally there behind the scenes. But as a board member, it's a whole different thing.
Oh,
It's-
sure.
It's more like organization and being an administrative assistant in a lot of ways, and taking
We
care
need to
of
do this, we need to do
things,
that, this needs to happen, and then this, and then crossing off and crossing off. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it I've never done before. I've never been in a board before. She's been in a board, but she's
Yeah.
never been in a theatrical
Right.
board, so that's totally different.
It's different, yes.
Yeah.
It is different, and it's funny because they say be careful what you wish for, because a week before this happened, I said to my husband, oh, I'm getting up there in age, and I've done so much. I was a journalist. I was, I ran nonprofits. I was a politician. I ran for office. I did it all. But I said I have not really been able to run anything to do with the
Never
arts,
run
and
a
I
theater.
love the arts, and I love the theater. I said that, and literally within 5-6 days, this thing just fell upon
Whoa.
me, and I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
So be careful what you wish for.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does happen.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
How do you know when you're doing it right?
When you're doing the play right, or the
whole thing.
the whole
You're
production, or-
acting right. How do you know when you're doing it right?
I would say when you're so involved in it and you feel like you're really there and you're really the character, and you kind of lose yourself as a my normal life and who I normally am, and I just get into character, and when I feel emotion coming up and through me, it's like as the character.
And then the audience.
And
The
then the
audience has so much to say, and they're supposed to be quiet, but I could tell, there were certain days, Saturday matinee or
Chuckling
Sunday matinee,
or-
and we would say, wow, that audience was really interactive. They were responding to the acting and more than others, like
Yeah,
they were
every
different.
audience is
Every
different.
audience is different. It's amazing.
And when they laugh,
Yes.
you're like,
I did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it gives you more energy, and you go even further with your acting, and you take more chances because they're really with you, they're liking it, and it's a shot of confidence that you're doing good up there, and when you can barely hear a pin drop, it's like, ooh,
Uh-oh.
They,
they're really.
They're not sleeping, are they?
No, I think it usually means that they're really riveted and moved. So it just depends, because there's different parts. It's not all ha-ha. There are poignant moments. We had this production
Okay.
of Bus Stop was very poignant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a lot of.
Well, okay. Luisa Piette and Del Dozier, thank you very much for being my guests.
Thank
This
you
is
for having us.
wonderful.
This was lovely.
you.
I
It was
appreciate
fun.
the opportunity,
Yes.
and I really wish you well, and
Thank you.
good luck with your other shows as well.
Thanks. Thank you. And so if you're interested in volunteering, placercommunitytheater.org, they would like to have you. And they would also like to have you in the audience.
And we're looking for good actors.
Yes,
If you're
good
an
actors.
actor,
Always
you know,
recruiting.
we're always looking for
always
those.
looking.
Okay. Thank you again. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for watching.